go to Mr. Blanchard Jonka for 6 minutes.
Monsieur le Président. Dr. Vaughan, vous dites...
Thank you, Chair. Dr. Vaughan, you're saying Prescribeit is a technological success. 85% of the intellectual property remains with TELUS, despite the fact that almost $300 million of public money is spent. So what is the public success story in all this for you?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chair. I think that the technological success, as we've heard, the highway works. The highway has been built. The challenge is in the adoption at the provinces and territories level.
Remember,
well, if the provinces want to put into use the application, but there's only 15% of public intellectual property, does that make sense?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chair. I think going forward, the open standards approach, which allows for customization for provinces and territories, building on all of the great work that Prescribeit fulfilled, allows for the provinces and territories to develop tools that make sense in this rapidly evolving technological environment.
Remember,
Dr. Vaughan, en mars 2023...
Dr. Vaughan, in March 2023, you started a feasibility study. If you knew that it wasn't viable, why did you continue to invest?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chair. The question was in the fact that Health Canada advised us that we would not be having any ongoing funding after March 2026. So we continued to provide the service at that in that interval, at the same time looking to use the valuable lessons learned and resources, the security, the authentication, the tools, the technical tools that can be used in the open standards approach, as we have in e-consult, e-referral, and patient summary.
Honorable Member.
Dr. Vaughan, c'était quoi le seuil d'utilisation que vous aviez?
What was the utilization target you set out for yourself to judge whether the program was viable, and did you reach that threshold, yes or no?
Mr. Chair, I ask my colleague for the technical question.
Madam Ansar, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. The target that we had sent out for ourselves to be financially sustainable was, I think, 75% of all transactions in Canada.
Donc là, on est à 5%.
But you're at 5%, give or take.
Yes.
Donc c'est un échec.
So it is a failure.
Dr. Vaughan.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chair. If you wish to describe it as a failure, something that has been developed that works at 99% technical success.
Mr. Vaughan, 5 sur 75.
Mr. Vaughan, 5 on the one hand, on the other hand, you have 75. The math simply doesn't work. I mean, we hopefully had the same math classes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the question. The reality is, Mr. Chair, that the Canada Health Infoway cannot make provinces or territories use their policy levers. And so we did everything we could to enable, but we couldn't make them mandate or legislate or use their policy levers.
You have 2 minutes and 23 seconds.
D'accord, Dr. Vaughan.
Okay, Dr. Vaughan. We can keep talking about the program's success criteria, but it is coming to an end at the end of May. So a program that comes to an end, for me, it's a failure. So I would like to know when you decided as the board to let the CEO, Mr. Green, go.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. So the question of when the CEO was relieved of his duties was last Wednesday.
Est-ce que vous êtes d'accord en guise...
Do you agree, for transparency purposes, to making publicly available the minutes of this board meeting where the decision was made?
Mr. Chair, as you can appreciate, this is an in-camera conversation around personnel and human resources. And so I defer.
D'accord.
Just one person at a time, please. Honorable members.
Bon. Donc, Dr. Vaughan, vous aviez dit...
So, Dr. Vaughan, you were saying that you were always transparent. Now you're saying you don't want to tell us what happens during your board meetings, but you're managing $300 million of public money. Is that the case?
Mr. Chair, we would be happy to make those available to you with the understanding that they are confidential and in camera.
Dr. Vaughn, on est d'accord que si tout a bien été géré,
So
tout
if
devrait-
everything was managed correctly, everything should be publicly available. And Dr. Vaughan, I'm just trying to understand if you could go back and redo things from scratch, what would you have done differently so that the program would not come to an end in late May?
On 30 seconds.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Great question. I think lessons learned are that in a federated health model, there needs to be some kind of national ties that brings the things together across the country, and that's a legislated piece that would drive that.
Honorable member, 20 seconds.
Donc, Dr. Vaughn, vous reconnaissez
So,
que
Dr. Vaughan, you're recognizing that the federal government should not have stepped into Quebec's jurisdiction and should have instead given the resources to the provinces for a system that would have worked.
The time is up, but short answer. Please go ahead.
I'm not sure what the question was, Mr. Chair.
I will stop the watch and I will ask the honorable member to repeat.
Dr. Vaughn, la santé, c'est une compétence.
So health is the jurisdiction of provinces, so Quebec's jurisdiction. We are managing the program, so we should have had the money for a program like this that manages healthcare services. And potentially we would have done a better job of integrating it into our system, which is different than the systems of other provinces.
Short answer, please.
Thank you for the question. In a federated health model, and Canadians wanting to move across the country and their health needs move with them, as in other jurisdictions, and no matter what province or territory they come from, they need to have that information follow them. What Prescribeit was trying to do, and did in fact, was deliver that solution.
Thank you very much. And 6 minutes, 35 seconds. Now we will go to Dr. Strauss. Dr. Strauss, 5 minutes. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, Dr. Vaughan, do board members at Canada Health InfoWay receive any sort of compensation?
Dr. Vaughan.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chair. They have a per diem for board meetings. The board chair has an annual retainer, and the committee chairs as well.
What is your annual compensation?
My annual retainer is $14,500.
Thank you. I noticed that Dr. Eric Hoskins, a former Ontario Liberal Health Minister, was on the board. Who appointed him?
Dr. Vaughan.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chair. Dr. Hoskins was a part of an independent director search, and he was recruited as a part of an independent search.
Honorable member.
So the board under your leadership appointed him?
As an independent member from Ontario.
Who appointed you?
I was appointed by the Deputy Minister of Health in 2017.
Okay, so under the auspices of the Liberal Federal Health Minister appointed you, and then under your leadership, you appointed another Ontario Liberal Health Minister. It just seems like the ice cream licking itself a little bit. Are there any other Liberal insiders on the board currently or in the past?
Dr. Vaughan.
Mr. Chair, I couldn't answer. I don't know. We don't discuss the political leanings.
Thank you. Dr. Hoskins, the former Liberal minister, is a partner at Mavericks Health Equity. I believe he was a partner at that health equity firm while he served on the board. What sort of ethics screen did he go through to ensure that Canada Health InfoWay wasn't giving contracts to members of his portfolio?
Dr. Vaughan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's a great question, and Canada Health InfoWay has a conflict of interest guidelines and policy, and every board meeting, members must declare if there's any conflict, and they have to abstain from that.
Remember.
So there was no particular screen pertaining to Mavericks Health Equity. It would have been incumbent on Dr. Hoskins at any point to say that there was a conflict. The Canada Health InfoWay didn't suss that out.
Dr. Vaughan.
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Were any of the contracts, the consulting contracts and others that Canada Health InfoWay awarded, were any of them sole sourced?
Dr. Vaughan.
As I recall, Mr. Chair, we had a contract with PwC, which had a previous vendor of record tendered process. That's the only one that I can recall.
Okay. Could you perform some sort of back end, see if there were other sole source contracts and table with us if there have been?
Chair, I'm not aware of any other.
Thank you, sir. What did Michael Green deliver tangibly to the taxpayers who paid his salary to justify his performance bonus last year?
Dr. Wong.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Last year, all of the corporate objectives, and there are many, and we can articulate and give you that information. He achieved that. The organization achieved it. Prescribeit did fulfill its mandate, notwithstanding the challenges around adoption.
Okay, so I mean, corporate objective sounds rather abstract. So concretely, specifically, is there a tangible benefit to taxpayers that you can think of that Mr. Green delivered?
Dr. Wong.
Chair, the financial accounting and reporting and contribution agreements that were externally audited all showed a well-run organization.
Okay, I thank you for the answer, but I don't hear anything concrete and specific that taxpayers benefited from. Mr. Green, I understand, was dismissed at a board meeting that had not been regularly occurring. It was an unscheduled meeting. Then it was scheduled. When was it scheduled?
Dr. Wong.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chair. The question is, when was
it called?
When was it called?
Yeah.
Last Wednesday. I don't remember the date, but
Is that the day after his testimony to this committee?
Dr. Wong.
Or it's a week after?
it's the week later. Yeah.
Thank you. I understand that Canada Health Infoway has received a total of $4 billion from governments over the last 20 years. What concrete, tangible, specific examples of benefit that the Canadian taxpayer has received from those $4 billion?
Dr. Wong.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chair. Canada Health Infoway was instrumental in the digitization of diagnostic and diagnostic imaging, laboratory services, electronic medical records. All of those pieces of the puzzle were a part of the Canada Health Infoway remit.
So I just have to contest that because your memory will go back further than mine. I was a medical student in 2004. I was working in hospitals. Radiology was already digitized in the Kitchener Hospital where I volunteered. I don't see that Canada Health Infoway had anything to do with that.
Dr. Wong.
Thank you for the question. Canada Health Infoway had a significant role in rolling out federal funding to the provinces and territories to lead and allow the adoption of diagnostic imaging and medical record evolution to the digitizing.
Well,
5
thank you.
minutes and 10 seconds. So we will go to Honorable Parliamentary Secretary, Madam Chi. Go ahead, please, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to all the witnesses for coming. Yep. Yeah. Do we need to evacuate? Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you, Chair. No worries. Thank you to all the witnesses. I'm not too sure who this question would be directed towards, but at the last meeting when we had TELUS Health and Infoway, there was, we discovered TELUS Health owned 85% of the IP, and I guess Infoway owned 15% through the rollout of the program. I just wanted some clarification, right? Because I think in some of the notes I've read that during the development of the program, there is consultation with folks. What did that look like when you first started consulting with physicians and pharmacists and people who would use the program? What were some early flags? How were they worked in the program? Because I'm also aware there were several change orders as part of this I guess, program management. So if you can describe that to us, that'll be great.
Dr. Wong.
I've asked my colleague who's been with the program the entire time.
Go ahead, please.
Consultations with the physicians actually identified new opportunities for new functionality and improvements in existing functionality. And so we then executed change orders to require the telesystem to adapt to those needs.
Honorable member.
Thank you. And then just to follow up to that, there's another note that says the physician-clinician adoption isn't high compared to pharmacists. I just want to try to understand why that's the case throughout the course of the program, why that wasn't addressed to increase the adoption rate. Is it because, when you submit the change order, it wasn't fast enough, it wasn't changed in time, or, what were some of the issues?
Miss Ansar. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. The adoption for physicians was very different because the nature of the work is very different. A pharmacist works and uses their skill in a digital environment. A physician, while using electronic health records, their focus, their general, for a family doctor, is generally on the patient themselves. So getting them to work in using a functionality in a workflow to share this information digitally is different. And there are other technologies out there like eFax and such that are also a form of electronic prescribing, but not digital data prescribing. That's different because the security and the privacy and the different elements that Prescribeit offered were significant in addition to functionality like clinical comms.
Thank you. Okay, so that will lead to my next, I guess, two questions. Probably either Dr. Vaughn or Ms. Answer is, I know InfoWay has described the next step is the national standard, setting up the national standard. If, the challenge was with some of the digital records or EMRs not being able to go online or adoption rate, how do you work through that in order for the national standard to be successful, looking forward?
That's a really great question. And the challenge will continue to plague us until we look at a systemized way to digitize our systems, to make interoperability a requirement, not only for provinces and territories, but federal members as well, that it is important that we work together as one voice. It's critical that provinces and territories continue to deliver on healthcare as is their requirement, but there does need to be a national standard set out by Canada as to what adoption should look like.
Remember,
Do I have
you have 50 seconds.
50 seconds? Okay, so 15% of the IP. So currently InfoWay sits on the 15% of the IP. Would that serve as a good foundation going forward, or do you still need, some sort of work to make it work, I guess? Yeah.
Miss Answer, 30 seconds.
Sir, the question to clarify on the IP, we are now working with provinces and territories very, very closely to help support their goals for the next stage of e-prescribing for their future. That may be for some provinces to work with TELUS. In that case, we are offering to those provinces and territories directly that 15% of IP to allow them to take advantage of the full functionality that was available under Prescribeit. Another feature that we haven't had an opportunity to talk about is the custom technology that we developed as a backup in case the TELUS system should fail or need to be replaced. That too is being offered to provinces and territories for their futures.
Thank you very much. 5 minutes, 20 seconds. We will go to Mr. Major for 5 minutes. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Dr. Vaughn, are you aware that Canada Health InfoWay's Executive Vice President, Abby Carla, was previously employed as Director of Information Technology for Pharmacy and Healthcare by Loblaws, which is a parent company of Shoppers Drug Mart? Yes or no?
Mr. Wong.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I heard that.
Member.
According to InfoWay, Shoppers Drug Mart received over $8 million for Prescribeit. In fact, they were the largest vendor recipient of Prescribeit funding. Whoa.
So go ahead, keep on.
Does Abby Carla hold any shares or stock options in Loblaw Companies Limited? Yes or no?
Mr. Vaughn.
I don't know the answer to that.
Honorable member.
Dr. Vaughn, Abby Carla also previously worked at both Oracle Canada and Deloitte. According to Canada Health InfoWay, both of these companies responded to the request for expression of interest to take over Prescribeit. Will you table all conflict of interest declarations and recusals filed by Mr. Carla over the life of the Prescribeit program? Please.
Dr. Vaughn.
Can I ask a clarification of what
I'll
specifically?
stop the watch and I will ask the honorable member if
Well, you did say like the table of conflict of interest. So
Yes.
obviously these people had previous experience of what they were actually bidding on, what they were working on. So if they did declare, you did mention before about they were self-declaring their conflict of interest. So, and how do you so that's what I'm trying to establish. Can you table their declarations of any conflicts of interest?
thank you,
Just please table
Dr.
that
Vaughan.
information.
Dr. Vaughan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and the answer is yes.
Thank you, honorable member. Please go ahead.
Dr. Vaughan, the Chief Financial Officer of Canada Health Infoway, David Fast, joined Canada Health Infoway in 2024. Prior to this, he was the president of AGFA Healthcare North America. Michael Green was the president of CEO of AGFA Healthcare Americas before joining Canada Health Infoway. Was the CFO position competitively posted, and what was the hiring process for it?
Dr. Vaughan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, for the question. At that time, as I recall, we were looking for an interim chief financial officer, and so he was brought in in an interim role, which he still has.
Can you table it with the committee how many applicants applied for the most recent CFO Canada Health Infoway?
Mr. Chair, the committee looks for that. We'd be happy to provide.
Yeah,
Honorable member,
yeah.
please go ahead.
Dr. Vaughan, how much money has Canada Health Infoway provided to AGFA Healthcare since 2017?
Dr. Vaughan, Ms. Answer, Ms. Answer, go ahead.
I honestly don't recall any detail.
After all these questions, who enforces the conflict of interest? So I can sit back here and I can say, "Oh, I'm sorry," but if I kind of wink and I sit at the board table, who actually enforces this? How do you do that?
Dr. Vaughan.
Question: the corporate counsel would be the one who oversees that.
Where do they sit? Corporate counsel.
Dr. Vaughan. Honorable member, you still have 2 minutes.
Still have 2 minutes.
Yes.
Well, there you go. I guess I'll go back to the CFO. We want to know if that was actually a competitive process.
Dr. Vaughan.
Thank you for the question, Chair. At that particular time, we were looking for someone as an interim role, and that is still the case. And so he was brought in an interim role.
Okay, Dr. Vaughan, last month, Michael Green told this committee that this salary was, quote, publicly disclosed. Can you confirm whether Mr. Green's compensation was publicly disclosed on Infoway's website during that meeting? Yes or no?
Dr. Vaughan.
Mr. Chair, as I recall, that was not the case, that it was subsequently rectified.
So he lied?
Dr. Vaughan.
Mr. Chair, I think it was an error.
So according to the archives of your website, the compensation disclosure hyperlink was not posted on Infoway's website as of March 11th. Furthermore, the metadata of the earliest version of the disclosure we received suggests the document was created on April 24th, 3 days after Mr. Green's committee appearance.
Dr. Vaughan.
Mr. Chair, it was rectified that it should have been.
Honorable member, 15 seconds.
So was his salary publicly available before then? If so, where?
Dr. Vaughan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the question. It was publicly available in documents submitted to the federal government and provinces and territories.
Member.
You table with the committee all compensation disclosures since 2016 and 17?
Dr. Vaughan.
Chair, if the committee is looking for that, we'd be happy to provide that.
Thank you very much, honorable member. The time was right on 5:05. So we now will go to Mr. Swaski for 5 minutes. Please go ahead.